everybody, it's Camille Martin with Love to Lose, where I teach you how to love your life and lose the weight. You know those days where you get on the treadmill or you get on your bike and the workout flies by, you have no trouble, you're like in the zone and killing it. Those days are awesome. Or how about days when eating healthy is a no-brainer, where you're just downing salads and craving fruit and you have no trouble doing what you need to do to stay healthy and make all those healthy choices that sometimes are really hard to make. Those days are amazing and I have them too, but unfortunately they seem to be few and far between. So what's the difference between a day like that and then most of the days where getting on the treadmill or showing up at the gym is a chore, where you're just not into it, or you feel like grabbing a bag of potato chips instead of eating an orange and just sort of feels like everything is really hard? What is the difference between those 2 days? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not that on one day you have more willpower and on the other you have less. It's not that you're more organized or more on top of things or that your workout playlist is better. It has nothing to do with your circumstances. The difference between good days and bad days like that is one simple thing, and that is what you're choosing to focus on. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about the power of focus and how you can use it to your advantage. So first of all, what is focus? Focus basically is you getting in touch with your own internal power. You being able to listen to your internal guide or universal energy or whatever you want to call it, speaking to you and you making a conscious decision based on that to take positive action. And on the days where you're really in the zone, you're not noticing that that's what you're actually doing. And it sounds kind of like, woo-woo and spiritual and whatever, but it's really not. On days where you're super focused, you are listening to an internal guide speaking to you and you're choosing to tune in, and that guide is telling you what actions to take next to stay on track. What happens when we don't listen to our internal guide and we lose our focus is that we're letting the internal drama take over and dominate. So for example, you're late to go to your workout class, you're late to get to the gym, and instead of stopping for a minute and choosing to focus on what you want to do, you're letting the internal drama take over. You're saying to yourself, well, you know what, I'm already late, screw it, I don't have time, I'm too tired, I never have time to work out, and then you just drive home. Or you sort of, fall off the wagon a little bit in the morning and you grab a few cookies, and instead of really getting back on track and listening to your inner guide tell you what to do or making a conscious choice, you let your internal drama take over and you say, well, I already ate 2 cookies. What's the difference? What difference does it make if I stay on track the rest of the day? And then you just completely go over the edge and eat everything in sight for the whole day. So I have those days too, believe it or not. I have more than I'd like to admit, and that's because I let my internal drama take over and crowd out the voice of my inner guide. And the reason why that happens a lot to all of us is that we are surrounded by chaos and distractions. So it's really hard to keep focused or to even get focused in the first place when you're completely inundated with email dings going off and your phone's ringing and your kids are crying and your house is dirty and you have a to-do list a mile long. It's really, really easy to let that internal drama take over. So today in this video, I'm going to give you 3 really simple ways to get focused and to stay that way so that you can keep yourself on track. Strategy number 1, get still. So part of what intensifies internal drama and that negative inner dialogue and chases your focus away is when you're flailing around and throwing your hands up in the air and rolling your eyes and saying, oh my God, I'm so sick of this, and you're distracted, you're moving around, you're hurrying, you're rushing. So get still, take a minute. All it really takes is 1 minute. Stop what you're doing, be still, and see if you can tune in to that inner guide, and she will speak as long as you are still. Strategy number 2, stop talking. This is one that I'm really guilty of. So as you're flailing around and rushing around like crazy and letting that drama build in your head, what I have a tendency to do is to give a literal voice to that inner drama. So I will do things like, oh my God, I am so sick of this, saying it out loud to myself. I never have any help. Nobody helps me. I do everything myself. I don't have time. I'm exhausted. My day is already almost over. What difference does it make? And on and on. So when you are talking out loud to yourself, you are giving a voice to the drama that will intensify that internal dialogue that derails your entire day. So as often as possible, when you feel the urge to blurt something negative out to yourself, stop yourself, get still. First strategy, get still, don't say anything, and deliberately, consciously choose to change whatever you were about to say into something positive that keeps you on track and motivates you to make the right choice and to keep making another and another after that. Strategy number 3 is stay with it for 1 more minute. This is a good one that really helps me get focused because a lot of that internal drama and throwing your hands up in the air and saying, I'm so sick of this, what that does is it causes us to stop whatever we're doing, stop right in our tracks and just say, whatever, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll finish folding that laundry later. I don't feel like it. I'm sick of it. Nobody ever helps me. So if I just stop for a second and slow down and get still and stop all of that internal negative drama and stick with whatever I'm doing for 1 more minute, just when I feel like giving up, at the point where I feel like quitting, I just say to myself, I'm just going to do this for 1 more minute. I'm going to stay on the treadmill just 1 more minute and see what happens. I'm going to keep folding these clothes for 1 more minute. Because when you don't stick with it and you just jump off the treadmill or quit cleaning or whatever it is you're doing, what happens then is you feel bad about yourself. You internalize even more stress because then you feel bad that you didn't do what you came to do. So if you just stick with it for 1 more minute and do 1 more piece of that task that you have ahead of you, that is usually enough for me to get major momentum. And I push through that resistance that's trying to get me to stop whatever I'm doing. And in that 1 minute, if you can, work and try to be conscious to regain your focus, then you can make another decision that will help you stay on track with whatever you're doing. So in other words, if I'm on the treadmill, I feel like quitting, I stick with it 1 more minute. And that just reminds me in that 1 minute, I came here to do a 2-mile run and I can finish it. I can do it. So that focus helps you stick with what you're doing 1 more minute and then on after that. However, one caveat is if you really do need to stop and you need to take a break and your inner guide is telling you, you know what, you need to stop what you're doing right now and take a break, then by all means do that. So if in that 1 more minute you realize that I do need to stop, then by all means stop, feel good about it, and then pick yourself back up tomorrow and get back on board. The worst part about all of that internal drama is that we bash ourselves for not following through, for not sticking with our workout program, with not sticking with eating healthy like we had planned and we told ourselves we were going to do. But in the midst of a truly chaotic life, it is so easy to let that drama take over, as I said earlier. So the problem is that by not using the power of our focus, the simple power to stay on track, is that we are blaming ourselves for not having enough willpower, for just not being able to stick with it, or I just can't stop eating. And nothing could be further from the truth. You are so much more powerful than you think you are. And by getting still and not talking and sticking with it for just 1 more minute to tune into your inner guide and your inner wisdom, it is so unbelievably effective and powerful because that really is the real you speaking. If you will just tune into her and listen, all of these things that you're trying to accomplish will take care of themselves automatically. Setting and achieving big goals is actually really not that hard if you will attempt to get focused and try to stay focused and remain focused for an extended amount of time. Tune into that inner guide instead of letting the chaos of your busy life crowd out everything that's truly important. I hope you'll use these 3 strategies to get focus in your life and make things so much easier on yourself so you can quit adding to the internal drama by bashing yourself and beating yourself up and truly keeping yourself stuck. If this video was helpful, I would love it if you would share it with a friend, and make sure to like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Also, head over to my website at CamilleMartinRD.com and make sure to sign up to get on my weekly newsletter list, where every Monday I will give you tips, inspiration, and motivation for your weight loss journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you here next time on Love to Lose.